It's the best Thursday night matchup of the year. The Pittsburgh Steelers are heading to play the Minnesota Vikings in a matchup that feels like it's straight out of the 1970s. Fran Tarkington, Terry Bradshaw. Just kidding. It's 2021, and these teams have been the most interesting teams, basically, of the season, at least for the two of us. So hopefully you enjoyed our little intro there, but that is where we're starting this week. And Jake, I need to hear who you are about to tell me is going to win this Thursday night football game, because you have not picked one of these teams this year. Either of these teams this year. The only two teams in the NFL, right?
All throughout the season, we've picked every single game in the NFL this year. And there are two teams that I have not picked to win a single game in my picks, and that has been the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, looking at this game, I'm confronted with having to pick one of them. I really wish I could opt for tie, because, everyone's a loser then. But I can't do that. I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings. One, because they're the home team. Two, because they did all of us a great favor by losing to the Detroit Lions last week, and I feel like I owe it that much to the Vikings. And yeah, this is going to be a game where they play to wherever Pittsburgh's at, so I mean, it just depends on what kind of unit we're getting from Pittsburgh. Probably still, the same lame duck kind of unit that we've been getting all season, outside of like 1.5 games. Yeah, Minnesota's like coming off a very, very bad loss, like the most embarrassing loss for any team this season. And the Steelers are going to be riding an undeserved high. So, yeah, I'm taking Minnesota here, and then I'm just gonna let Pittsburgh lose the rest of these games, or not pick them to win for the rest of the season.
Minnesota is dealing with a lot of injuries right now. I do not like that at all. I feel like these teams are pretty even. Ben Roethlisberger is actually looking competent in recent weeks, which I wasn't expecting to be able to say. He just looks like all you haven't been watching close enough. You have not been watching close enough. If you haven't been seeing his
I get nausea if I watch the Steelers close enough.
If you have not been watching Big Ben to notice his low level of competency that he has recently upped his play to, then you have not been watching the Pittsburgh Steelers close enough. They have surpassed recently the 17-point mark that I've set for them all year. I think they're looking at like a 19-point team game right now, and definitely against a battered Minnesota Vikings team. I'm going to take Pittsburgh in this one. New Orleans at the New York Jets.
Yeah. So this is not a good game. Taysom Hill did not look good in the game that he played last week against the Dallas Cowboys. And now he's playing against the worst team, and I think that's good for him. That gives him a better chance, gives him a fighting chance to actually win this one. But I don't even know why I said but. It's the Jets. The Saints are going to win. The Saints are going to win. I got Taysom Hill winning this one. Granted, Taysom Hill could have the same exact performance that he had against the Cowboys, throw 4 picks, and they'd still win because the Jets cannot take advantage of those turnovers.
I'm just realizing that I forgot this week to take a look at the matchup I feel the most confident about and pick the other team. Oh well, don't have time to reanalyze. What I do know is this is the meme quarterback matchup of the century. And I'm absolutely in love with that. I could not be happier to see that on the calendar weekend. 2 young BYU boys coming out, playing with their hearts on the line, giving it their all.
Oh, geez, yeah, this is the battle of the BYU alums, isn't it?
Yep. And what I've got to say about that is I think there's a change into the guard. Give me the New York Jets, baby.
There's a new Mormon QB in the league now, and his name's Zach Wilson.
Atlanta at Carolina.
Is Cam still the starting QB for the Panthers, right?
Yeah, that's why the offensive coordinator got fired on a random Sunday. You know, nothing's going on in the football world on Sunday. Nobody will notice this if we just drop this little headline out there, slide it under the door to the PR person, and just say, "Hey, just release this to the public."
Yeah. With Joe Brady being out there, like gone now, Cam Newton's still the starting QB. Carolina just looking in a bad spot as a team, and the Falcons, you know, they're the Falcons. I don't think you could go wrong picking either of these teams, and it's kind of just
Go wrong? No, you're entirely going wrong picking either of these teams, but you have to pick one of them.
You have to pick one. If you're confronted with having to pick one of these teams, you can't go wrong with either choice. I'm gonna go with the Falcons here to win in an upset against the Panthers.
Love this. This is great. We're creating great drama this week. Now I just need you to pick Houston in the next game. Yeah, I'm going with Carolina, so we are disagreeing on 3 out of 3 games so far, which is absolutely tremendous for content on our channel, so I really appreciate you doing that on purpose, Jake. One of us will be 100% right, so just keep that in mind. Whenever you see the outcome to the first game, that means whichever one picked the first game correctly, that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, I like Carolina specifically because they have a receiving core, and that's where I'll leave it.
Well, I just think of the Avengers scene where Loki says, "We have an army," and then they say, "Well, we have a Hulk." Yeah, you can have a whole receiving core, but we got a Lee Smith. All right.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Cordero Patterson.
That too.
We have competency all around. We have Cordero Patterson.
Well, we have a guy that can play 2 different positions.
Yep. Maybe even quarterback. Could you imagine if Cordero Patterson started throwing the ball, how much of a threat he'd be?
I cut Matt Ryan.
Good. Glad we're on the same page. Seattle at Houston.
Yeah, I mean, I was tempted to pick Houston in this one, and then I checked my phone while I was picking these games and saw that Zach Cunningham got cut by the Texans for reasons of the Texans have standards. Since when? And because of those standards, he's cut, and the Seahawks lost, another equally as important. I shouldn't say equally. They lost Jamal Adams, who is a big part of their defense, big part of their pass rush. They lose him too, but I think that, it doesn't matter. Seahawks are still going to win this one, especially with the Texans throwing Davis Mills back there to play QB.
We killed the Seahawks too early. They're ready to avenge their 8 losses and come from the deep and darkest places to end up with a winning record. If not 500, they'll find a way to tie a game. Won't be this one. I'll take Seattle and then win this one.
All right.
Las Vegas at Kansas City.
Yeah, Vegas has been playing well. I mean, they've been losing games. They've been playing all right. Still on that downward trend of, not looking as good as they did at the start of the season. KC, on the other hand, returning back to form of, their back-to-back Super Bowl appearance form. I think they pick up the win here. Granted, it is a divisional game and it is against the Raiders, and the Raiders seem to have the Chiefs' number when they play them in divisional games. But I'm taking KC here at Arrowhead.
Yeah, it seems like the first 8 weeks of the season I had the Raiders pinpointed down perfectly, and now since then I haven't been able to get a Raiders game right. So my mind's telling me to pick the Chiefs, but I think I'm coming to the realization that this is the one that I have the most conviction with this week. I'll take the Raiders.
Right.
Yeah, nothing more than that. Baltimore at Cleveland. You told me something about this one that has really ruffled my feathers recently about who I want to pick, not necessarily. So tell me what you got.
Yeah. So it was a crappy game 2 weeks ago when they played. And Lamar did not play too hot in it. Cleveland was banged up. Cleveland when of their bye week, they have 2 weeks to prepare for this one. Still kind of banged up. The Ravens are kind of banged up too. They lost Marlon Humphrey. With that, though, I'm still taking Baltimore to win this one in an upset. I just think playing it QB against QB, I'm taking Lamar over Baker all day.
Yeah, the Marlon Humphrey thing is the thing that terrifies me. I don't know, but that Cleveland team, the last time I watched Cleveland was just so like out of touch with what they should be for a variety of reasons, whether that be injury or just like the fact that because of those injuries, it seems like the players have not been able to get on the same page the entire season. They're still a team that at any moment could catch fire, and I'm hoping we're wrong right now. And looking back from in the future, our offseason perspective was correct, with both of us saying that Cleveland would be able to pick up this win finally the second time they played. But I'm having a tough time thinking that that's actually going to be the case right now. I think it's very close, but I still am leaning Baltimore, and I'm picking Baltimore as well.
All right.
Dallas at Washington.
Yeah. I mean, kind of touched on this one in our episode that went up yesterday of how football team play or the Cowboys and the football team play each other twice in this like last stretch of games before going to the playoffs, and they might meet again in the playoffs. But I cannot see Washington beating Dallas right now, especially with how much Dak has dominated the football team in his tenure as the starting QB for the Cowboys. Uh, but Washington is looking up, so maybe the next matchup against them in Jerry World, I might shock the world and pick the football team in that one.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't Washington is it's tough to pick Washington over Dallas at this point. So recently Washington beat the Raiders. The Raiders beat the Cowboys. Washington is better than the Raiders. Washington is at home against the Cowboys. Washington is better than the Cowboys. I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe that. But I want to pick Washington in this one. I want Washington to end up where we said they would be at the beginning of the season, and that can't happen if they don't beat the number one team in their division. So, come on, football team. Show me something. I don't know if I actually believe in you, but I'm picking you this week. Jacksonville at Tennessee.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of the games where I don't tune in to watch. I think that
This is going to be one of those games on Red Zone that I see on Sunday that I'm just going to be like, why? Stop.
37-0, cool. Take me back to the other games. Yeah, it seems like Dontrell Henderson and Deonta Foreman are just gonna like run all over them like they did against the Patriots. And Tennessee will actually be able to win this one because it isn't the Patriots, it's the Jags. I got the Titans, by the way.
I got to be honest. I don't even know who the first guy you said is, but that's okay. I'll take the
They
Titans.
both have 100 rushing yards. It's the two running backs for the
Dontrell Henderson?
Dontrell.
Who's he?
He's a running back.
I mean, he could be. I just don't know him. Granted. I mean, please, actually,
Dontrell Hilliard. Sorry.
oh, okay. That's a name I've heard of. I still don't know much about him, but I've heard that name. So that sounds better to me. Yeah, I'm going Tennessee. I don't really know. It's a divisional matchup, so maybe that helps it not like get as ugly as the Jacksonville loss from last week. So that's something. Yeah, but nothing more than that. New York Giants at Los Angeles Chargers.
So I'd pick the Chargers to win if Daniel Jones was starting this game. I'd pick the Chargers if Mike Glennon was starting this game. And I'd pick the Chargers if Jake Fromm is starting this game. So I'm going with the Chargers.
Have you seen the Giants' run game recently? I'll take the Chargers. Detroit at Denver.
This is where Detroit starts stringing them together. They're not eliminated yet. They're still in playoff contention. They're not eliminated yet. They're still in playoff contention. Houston got eliminated. Houston got eliminated last week. Not the Lions, though. The Lions are still in playoff contention. I don't know what needs to happen in order for the Lions to make it, but They can only control what they can control, and that's winning this game right here.
Wait,
and it's against
how many games have they lost? 10?
10.
Okay. Sorry, I just needed a refresher on how many games into the season we are.
Oh, yeah, they've guaranteed a losing record, but they haven't been eliminated from playoff contention yet. And they're going against the Denver team, who, I mean, with Teddy Bridgewater, he loves making mistakes, and I know a very opportunistic corner by the name of Ifeatu Melifonwu that would love some interceptions.
He's back?
Yes, I believe so. So I am taking the Detroit Lions to win this one in an upset at Mile High.
Well, I mean, if I knew that, I would have dropped the Broncos from a 14-point favorite to a 13-point favorite. I'm just kidding. I don't think the gap is that much, actually. I don't think the Lions will do horribly in this one. I don't. Although I have to say, it seems like I can't remember the last time Detroit was on the road. Like it just feels like all their games have been at home. I mean, obviously that's not the case, but it just feels like that is. Heading to Denver, though, I mean, I don't I don't know. Denver's been another one of those teams this year with like crazy highs and also crazy lows. So I mean, Denver literally can't gain anything from this. The Lions can. But I mean, if you're a Denver fan, I mean, hope to walk out with a victory. Oh no, I'm not picking the Lions. I'm sorry. I want to, but I'm trying to get games right without having too much outside influence.
That's what you said to me last week. That's what you said to me last week.
I am. I'm still trying to get games right. I mean, doesn't mean I will be right. I'm trying to get them right though. Yeah, no, I'm taking Denver. I don't know. It's just a tough matchup here because this team is like sitting in the middle of the road, and I actually do see a situation where they could like lose to the Lions, and it's just like it's so possible because this team has just been all over the place in terms of how well or how poorly they've played, but they should not, and which because of the matchup, just it means that they should be able to get a win in this matchup, but also like it's just going to be interesting to see where they are next week in terms of how far out of the playoffs they are and stuff, because it still feels like they're going to have way more wins at the end of the season than they actually deserve.
I would like to add, Dan Campbell is undefeated in December. So
San Francisco at Cincinnati. You know he was an interim head coach at one time. You should fact check yourself.
With the Lions.
There you go. That's better.
Yeah, San Fran at Cincinnati. This is going to be an interesting one, but I mean, I'm really hoping that Joe Burrow can bounce back after a loss to the Chargers. San Fran also looking to bounce back, so it's the teams of the bounce backs. With that, both teams looking good too, where they were at before their losses last week. I'm going with the better quarterback, so give me Cincinnati to win in an upset at home because they're the underdog at home, which is weird.
Not in mine.
Yes, in yours. Yes, in yours.
I want to fact check.
Plus 105. Plus 105.
You're still looking at the wrong thing. Don't look at
No,
that.
I'm not.
Look at the number. Whatever. Okay, whatever. I'm taking San Francisco. I think this one's really close because of, it barely being a difference in terms of the odds. Also, just I don't know what it is. I feel like most of my reason for picking San Francisco in this game, though, comes down to the fact that, like, the preseason bias of, like, what I think these teams could be is coming into play, where I don't think that Cincinnati should be this good, and I feel like San Francisco should be better. So that's really playing a big factor here. We'll see if it comes to fruition. Buffalo at Tampa Bay.
Yep, the Bills have looked not good. Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay. Not having Antonio Brown gives the Bills hope. I will say that. Them not having Antonio Brown gives them hope. But I pick against the Bills as precedent. I'm picking against the Bills here. Give me the Buccaneers.
Why? You don't even. Wow, you didn't even. Just even you're off your rocker now with the Bills because you're just like, oh, okay. I'm gonna say that my reason is literally just precedent
Brady
at
is
this
the
point.
greatest of all time, and he's taking care of business. He sunned the Bills when he was in the AFC East. He's gonna sun them again. There, that work better for you?
Yeah, I like that better. I'll lock up the Patriots. Wow, the Patriots. I'll lock up the Buccaneers because it feels just like it did. It'll probably feel just like it did this last week when the Bills lost to the Patriots. It'll feel just like it did when Tom Brady beat us while he was on the Patriots. And it'll feel the same for us Bills fans as it does every time Tom Brady beats the Bills.
No, I don't want
So
to
I'm
be that
locking
guy,
Tampa Bay.
but this might be the point where it turns around. This downhill skid, the Bills started with you locking them to beat Tennessee, and now I think you've locked them into playing like crap. Now you're unlocking that by locking the team that they're playing against.
I hope to God you're correct. Chicago at Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm going with Green Bay. Back-to-back Bays, Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. He said it himself.
Yeah,
The
don't
last
even
time
don't
he-
e- don't even you don't even need to go more in depth. The fact
Yeah.
that this game has the biggest spread of the weekend and it is still the Sunday night football matchup is the dumbest thing in the world. Yeah, I'm picking Green Bay too. I don't want to spend any more time on this game because it gets way too much airtime every single year. Other people can do that. I don't want to support this Chicago Green Bay stupidity.
8 career matchups.
Los Angeles Rams at Arizona Cardinals.
My lock of the week is in this one.
I was wondering. I thought you hadn't gotten around to it yet.
Now, I'm very interested to watch this one. This would be a great game if it was in the snow. I'm kidding. It'd be a great game if it just started snowing in Phoenix. Yeah, Kyler Murray's back. I think, yeah. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins are back. The Rams beat up the Jags. The Cardinals have consistently been like beating teams that aren't like bad. I'm going with the Cardinals, and I'm locking the Cardinals to win this week.
That's aggressive. Last time we had a lock on an NFC West matchup on Monday Night Football. That burnt me pretty bad. I'm just saying that.
I'm not
pointing
you.
it out to you.
I'm not you. I'm my own person.
I'm picking the Cardinals too. They've seemingly looked unstoppable when their starters have been on the field, and if it wasn't for we take away the game where their entire roster was depleted, and we have one pass play that an audible is heard on, and they haven't lost a game yet. This team is very impressive. That's why I'm sticking with the Cardinals. All right, who's going to make you look stupid at the end of this week, though?
Washington. If Washington really does it, if they're like fully back and they're at where we pictured them being in the offseason, I'll look really stupid then. Just because like past me would be arguing with present me about this game.
I know. I really don't know if they can do it. That one is that honestly, that pick is probably like the most like me hoping pick I've made all year. Because I don't know if I truly believe that. In terms of looking at these like matchups where I didn't pick upsets, man, these teams mostly are all big favorites. Green Bay's a big favorite over Chicago. Denver, fairly big favorite over Detroit. Chargers, big favorite over the Giants. Tennessee, big favorite over Jacksonville. Seattle, Houston. Only one really is kind of Atlanta at Carolina. And then the only other matchup that's even on the table that I didn't pick an upset for is Buffalo at Tampa Bay. I'm really having trouble figuring out what's going to make me look stupid this week. But I think because of just how I reiterated all that stuff right there, it's probably got to be that Atlanta Carolina one, just because I hate Atlanta. Like I don't get how they even have won as many games as they have, but I really do not like them. And if they just whoop whoop Carolina's behind, then I'll look stupid. So, with that, are you all set?
Yeah, I think we can cut this here.